Hey, I'm Bro. Welcome to another episode of Meet the Crew. So today we're talking to Will.
How's it going?
What's up?
Not much.
So tell us about yourself.
My name's Will Rollhill. I work at Rutgers University as a programmer for an MRI research center. Been into Star Wars since I was a kid. Everyone has the same story or similar stories at least. Playing lightsabers in the backyard with best friends. I remember seeing Phantom Menace in theaters when I was 5 years old with my mom and a neighbor kid. And it was just the coolest thing ever. And I remember sitting in the basement watching A New Hope, and it's just been part of my life forever.
You've been around in the Legion for how long?
I joined the Legion in 2018 with a snowtrooper, but I was around it for about a year before that. At the time, I lived in Delaware, and I was in the Galactic Academy, which is a separate thing now, they called it the Academy in Garrison, Korea. Then while I was going through building my costume and stuff, Delaware split off into First State Garrison. So I was one of the first people approved into First State Garrison. And then in 2021, we moved here to New Jersey, and I transferred over to Northeast Remnant and been here ever since.
Some of our members knew you before you moved to New Jersey, just from interaction, because even though each state has its own garrison and separate chapter of the 501st or Rebel Legion, we all communicate, we cross borders a troop, we're swag trading and everything. Yeah. So I know you already had a good basis of friendships here. So when you came over, we were happy to have you because, you got some great costumes and great, skill set.
Yeah, and Kevin Martinez is actually the reason I'm in the Legion. I knew him before I was a member. He introduced me to the idea of it, him and another friend that we have up in Massachusetts. They were talking about it, and it was right around the time that Force Awakens came out. So Inovos had their $400 stormtroopers, and I was like, oh, that's really cool, maybe I could do that. And my wife was like, all right, if you want to do this, you got to do what you want. Is the TK what you want to do? And I was like, no, I want to be a snowtrooper. She was like, then you're gonna be a snowtrooper.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. Yeah, a lot of people, they want to be in and they just take a shortcut or just grab whatever they can, but then they're really not happy with it. It's like, you gotta, it's a commitment.
Oh, for sure.
Even if you're just getting an officer or a crewman, is going to be $500-600 right off the bat.
Easily.
So if you want a stormtrooper, pay another couple hundred and just get what you want.
Yep.
And build it, and then a lot of the stuff you're just going to end up building more costumes anyway. What other costumes do you have at this point?
Right now I only have the ESB Snowtrooper and the Snow Scout, which you're the founder of.
That's a fun story, but that was a project that I found somebody had done it like when I first joined in the early 2000s as just like a fun thing, and then there wasn't any reference, so just kind of built one just for fun based off of the other guys, but I tweaked it a little bit, and then there was a whole process of actually getting it approved, and they used me for approval, but that was fun.
Yeah.
But I love to see other Snow Scouts.
It's been my favorite one to wear over the past year.
Yeah.
It's a lot lighter. It's not as hot inside the helmet.
Yeah.
Much better vision.
Yeah, and one of the things, because it's an interesting costume, because it was, in order to be in the Legion, you have to have 360-degree reference.
Yeah.
So it's not a matter of how many reference. You just have to be able to have official, Disney, Lucasfilm, whatever reference material, so that if I'm building it in New Jersey and you're building it in Delaware and someone else is building it in Europe, we're all building based off the same specs. Yeah. So they didn't have anything. The only two pictures for the Snow Scout were a concept art and an action figure, which were completely different.
Yeah.
So when I built mine just based off of what I had in the shop, because I just was like, I wasn't trying to do anything other than just make something that looked cool. And then they used my costume as a reference to have an artist do the angles. And then once they actually started looking at it and it was official, we realized like I had black buckles, but everything really should be white or tan. And like some of the straps I just did because that's how I strapped them, but they didn't match the actual way a snow trooper plate should be attached. So they've since changed that. You know, I'm grandfathered in, but yours is actually more accurate now to what it should be. Mine was just kind of like a way.
I think black buckles are still technically allowed.
Yeah.
It's here or there.
I mean, at some point, I probably should change mine because I think it would look better. I had black buckles.
Yeah,
I have white buckles.
that's what you got.
So what other things are you working on now?
Right now, I'm in the process of building a range trooper from Solo, and we've heard that they're going to be making an appearance in Andor Season 2 as well. So it seems like a good time to do it. It's been one that I've wanted to do since Solo came out. Really sticking with the snow theme.
Yeah, I was gonna say everything revolves around snow.
Well, my parents are from Buffalo, so
like
I have ties to Buffalo, which is famous for its massive amounts of snow.
Yeah, so every time you go to visit, you can have your costumes. I'm super excited about that costume because I've loved that costume since it first came out in any sort of advertisement. But it looks just so incredibly difficult because it doesn't look like it's something that you even like the boots and stuff doesn't seem like it's something we can create that would actually hold up.
Yeah,
but apparently there is.
I think there's definitely 2. I think maybe 3 or 4 in the region right now.
But this is another thing where you're taking on these hard projects because that's something that is you're kind of learning as you go and figuring stuff out. Not a lot
learning
of
how to fail is a big one.
Not a lot of reference material or people to grab to, so you're creating it. But you have some skill set with that. You've been doing a lot of 3D printing and other stuff now. Yeah,
I've been 3D printing for about 2 years now. I dove headfirst into the deep end with it.
Yeah, 100%.
And just never stopped. I printed a couple parts for an upcoming project for you guys.
Yep.
And then I built my own pit droid. I built my own Huyang as well. A couple helmets here and there.
Yep, you've been helping because we're building. You know, it's not a secret now. We're building the Droidica. And that's a massive
huge
project. So that's why we love having so many people in the crew that can print because we all have to take turns printing. Some of these prints are like 100 hours
easily,
or several days. It's like, it's crazy.
Full rolls of filament.
Yeah. You and Dave, I think, did most of the printing on that. And we're at the final stage. We're going to start putting it together. So hopefully, maybe by the time this airs, we'll have a picture of it. But I don't know. There's some
I don't know where it's going to
pieces of your stuff over there. What kind of troops are your favorite? Because, we wear the costumes at all these events.
I really like anything that has a good amount of kids there. Just seeing the excitement on their faces is so much fun. So libraries, elementary schools are always fun. There was one time when I was in Delaware, there was a kid that was terrified of all of us. So I just went into peekaboo mode. I went to dad mode and started playing peekaboo, and the kid lit up. And it was one of my proudest moments. And I try to replicate it, but it never works quite right. But it's just, seeing them light up, putting smiles on people's faces. That's what I care about.
Yeah, seeing the kids, and seeing even adults just light up and be happy. It's, you make a difference. You feel a little fulfilled. It's like it's all volunteer work. It's all, it's all charity work. So that's nice. So besides the printing and the costuming, is there anything else you're doing?
In the slow process of making my own tiny workshop, trying to get my kids involved. They're just kind of like, oh, that'd be fun. They're not like as excited about it, and I don't want to push it if they're not excited about it.
Yeah, that's always the thing. It is. We always talk about every interview. I talk about how it's nice that your whole family can be involved, if they choose to. And, sometimes the kids got to get used to it. At some point, they either like it or don't. Like my kids just were all forced into it, so they loved it, but now as they get older they still like it, but they also now the girls have boys and my son's 20 and doing his own thing, so they still like it. They love looking at the memories, but they're not out so much, but it's not something you force on. They have it, but it's not something that really takes away from your family, and they can always, I know you've brought your family to some trips here or there. And even if they're not in costume, they're at least...
They like hanging around,
A lot of the things we do, a lot of the community events we do have stuff for the kids. So, like, while you're in costume, they're running around in bouncy houses and face painting and stuff like that.
Another reason that I like going to the libraries. Because it's usually an event, and they have, like, little things for the kids to do. So they'll be running around doing something.
Nice.
Causing ruckus.
Well, thanks for sitting down and talking to us. I guess
we're
going to go back and see what these guys are up to.
Paint some stuff.
Work on some Droidica parts.
There you go.
All right. Very good.